My name is Pia, and I want to explore some ideas around a particular aspect of transformation that interests me both personally and professionally. Okay, and this is often one of the trickiest and messiest bits of transformation, and it's what we call being in transition. And it's an interesting concept, being in transition, this space between when we're not one thing or the other. It literally feels like being in a birth canal. And this is the moment when often we feel the most lost, torn, confused between conflicting realities, different ages, different parts of ourselves. We literally feel like we're going round and round in circles. But if only we dare stand still for a moment and just realise that this time might just be a lot slower, this process might be slower than we would like. And also, it might also be the making of us as well. So in myth and literature, this transitional space, just as in life, comes up in pretty much every story. And it comes in a sort of variety of guises: the underworld, the wasteland, the frozen land, limbo. It's the part of the story which, when everything starts slowing down, grinds to a halt. The main character starts failing a lot, falling a lot. Or she falls into this deep sleep and she doesn't wake for ages. Suddenly it looks like there's no hope. And equally, if we turn to the natural world to look for examples of transition, this is the really boring bit that you would skip over in the documentary. It's the cocoon, it's the glacier, it's the snake in process. Just lying there silently, not moving, not doing much. And yet the biggest irony of all is, if this is the moment where nothing looks like it's happening on the outside, this is a moment where everything is happening on the inside. We just can't see it because it's beneath the surface of ordinary life. So if we're going to start to engage with these important crossings in our lives, I think we need a different perspective. For starters, I'm not convinced that those super active, go-getting outside tools are particularly useful in transition. You know the ones I mean: pull yourself together, grab your sword, fight it, quick, get rid of it. There's a really important place for these extrovert, heroic qualities, really important, but I'm just not convinced it's now, in that really messy moment of transition. So what I'm proposing is a different approach, that we need heroic tools to take us inside. And by inside tools, I mean ones that can take us beneath the surface, into a descent beneath what we think we know, into our internal landscapes, to give attention and attend to those mysterious, invisible, yet natural processes of change that happen deep inside us. And the point of going here? To let go of the outdated, the outworn, and to come back with a gift: insight, hope, a dream, a new perspective, a new attitude, a stronger connection with our intuition. And when you're stuck in the middle of a transition without a rudder, any of these can breathe the life and direction right back into you. And still to this day, one of the best and most trustworthy guides that we have are the arts for these inner travels. When I propose the idea of arts as a compass, I'm not talking about being artistic. I'm not talking about being technically proficient. I'm not talking about whether you can paint or write or draw. I'm not talking about being an expert in your craft. I'm talking about those raw, fluid, natural forms that have been handed down from generation to generation: myth, metaphor, image, dreams. Tools that enable everyday people to reflect upon feelings and what's going on, and enable the non-rational, the non-verbal, the things that we can't control, to give some of these life and to give them life in the outside world so that we can start to look at them and explore them. And whether the output is beautiful or not is completely irrelevant. It's the personal meaning of these homemade images that can help us make sense of the unknown when we are literally on our knees. Do you remember when you were a child and used to love making things with your hands? That feeling of being lost in the process of making, absorbed in that, before time got taken away and responsibility and the rest of it. That real feeling of loving what you were doing, making in your hands, absorbed in the process. And you didn't give a hoot what it looked like because it was a piece of you. It's this quality of art making that I'm talking about, this absolute attention to the inner process of making stuff and listening without judgment to what it has to tell you about your deepest self. And children can be deadly serious when they play. From years of working with ordinary women making extraordinary journeys, I have learnt that by giving our inner images life, that we reclaim the lost, the forgotten, the neglected, the unlived parts of ourselves. So that when the glacier has taken its eternal time to pass over, the landscape has been carved up underneath. The caterpillar has turned into the butterfly, and the snake has a new skin that fits better than the age and the phase before. A transformation is complete. This is a natural cycle of beginnings, of endings, of life and death and rebirth. And it's the heroine's ongoing journey of transition across her 7 ages. I don't know if the work is ever really done. But I would say that this process is probably as heroic as scaling K2, and in the end, probably takes as many attempts as well. But I think if using art as a compass can leave us with something, it's that the hard-earned inner strength, the hard-earned, that renewed sense of purpose that you gain from embarking and doing the work and going on those inner travels is actually very concrete in the end and is ours to keep inside and out. Thank you.